Hello, humans. Happy Thursday, I believe. It is. Yeah, it's Thursday. Okay. So if you haven't already, be sure that you are staying on track of things. If you need help with anything we happen to do, let me know. If you didn't see the announcement I made yesterday, they have changed our schedule a little bit. Um, Instead of the Zoom meeting being from 1:30 to 2:30, it's now from 10:30 to 11:30. So if you need to get on Zoom to ask me questions or anything like that, just keep in mind that it's from 10:30 to 11:30 now. And I have changed the link on our course homepage to take you straight there. And again, if that link doesn't work, let me know and I will get you the link to get on. So yesterday we talked about the different types of maps that you might find, the physical, political, and special purpose, and then what those map projections look like, the cylindrical, the conic, and the flat plane. Today we're going to go a little bit into something similar. I was talking to Mr. Lewis earlier, and he told me you guys did this last year, so hopefully this is just a simple review. If it isn't, today's your lucky day. You get to learn about latitude and longitude. So first thing we need to do is understand what those are. So, well, first off, as part of our daily objective is to kind of understand the difference between latitude and longitude and what they're used for. So to start off, let's start with latitude. And latitude is lines of measure that run north and south on a map. So this way. Yeah, this way. And are usually measured in degrees and minutes. An example is 51 degrees north. So that tells you you are 51 degrees north of the equator, and I'll explain what that means here in a second. The second one is longitude, and all longitude is lines that run east and west on a map. They're measured in degree minutes. So latitude goes up and down, longitude goes side to side. And again, it's measured in degrees and minutes, and you might see that written as 2 degrees west. Okay. To give you a kind of a visual, longitude going this way, latitude going this way. So latitude and longitude are used, or have been used in the past, to help people navigating find where they're at on a map. Today it's done through GPS, but back in the old days they would take points and figure, okay, I am here in the world and I want to go here, so I can figure out the distance between the two by using the latitude and longitude lines to tell me, okay, that's how far I need to go. So to give you another visual, you might see it look like this on a map. Usually the equator, which is the line of longitude going east and west, is known as 0. So 0 degrees northwest or east will put you in the center of the map. And so think of the equator as kind of the dividing line going east and west. Actually, I will put a little compass thingy to kind of help show that. So north, south, east, and west. Okay, so think of the equator as the line going east and west on the map, the line of longitude going east and west on the map. Okay, and then the other one you'll want to know is the latitude line going north and south, and that is known as the prime meridian. So the equator is the line of longitude that goes east and west on a map. the line of latitude is known as the prime meridian, and it goes north and south. One thing I want to point out is on my map here, this is a pretty much circle, but I have it going up to 60 degrees either direction. On a good map, you'll see it go up to 90. 90 degrees north is the North Pole. 90 degrees south is the South Pole. So I don't have it here, but just keep in mind you may see 90 degrees north. That's telling you, okay, you're going to the North Pole. 90 degrees south will put you at the South Pole, and then in between. So if I start at the equator and I want to go 30 degrees north, that tells me I need to go up 30 degrees. So if I start here, 30 degrees north will put me somewhere in here. Okay. Oftentimes, and what you'll do for your homework is you might see something written as 40 degrees north and 50 degrees east. Okay. If I asked you to find where that was on a map that I give you, you would start here at the equator, 0, and you would go 40 degrees north, which would take you right about here, and then 50 degrees east would take you all the way over here, and you would mark it as such. And then same thing, if I gave you another one that said 30 degrees south, 50 degrees west, you would start again at the equator in the center. Okay, and you want to go 30 degrees south, so you want to go here, 30 degrees south, and then 50 degrees west would take you over to right about here. So you always want to look for the first one we so north tells you 40 degrees north of the equator, 30 degrees south tells you 30 degrees south of the equator, and then go east and west based off of what it gives you. That's how we'll look at it in here. It can get a little bit more complicated than that, but we won't mess with it too much. So we'll stick to largely this, where it's like 40 degrees north or 36 degrees south, what have you. Okay, just so you have an idea of what that will look like. And like I said, 0 degrees latitude, so that is the line 0 degrees going north and south, is known as the prime meridian. And then 0 degrees longitude is known as the equator. Okay, and something that we're going to talk about quite a bit is something known as hemispheres. And so with that, if we take another circle here and I divide it in half using the equator, everything north of the equator is known as the northern hemisphere, and then everything south of the equator is known as the southern hemisphere. So if you can see, north of the equator, northern hemisphere, south of the equator, southern hemisphere. And then if we do the same thing for the prime meridian, remember that's the one that goes north and south, everything west of the prime meridian is known as the western hemisphere, and then everything east of the prime meridian is known as the eastern hemisphere. And that is where we will spend a lot of our time this year, is in the eastern hemisphere. If you remember, we're going to talk quite a bit about Egypt, the Middle East, China, Central Asia, the Pacific. Those are all what we identify as being part of the eastern hemisphere. So we will spend a good portion of our time in the eastern hemisphere dealing with those places that I just mentioned. So hopefully that helps you understand this a little better. For your homework tonight, you will have a worksheet on Canvas that will give you a series of points, kind of like this, and you'll tell me what city is at that location. If you guys have any questions, remember to get on the Zoom meeting if you need it. Email me, or if you need to want to come into the building, get help that way. Let me know and I can help you get a time set up to come in and get help. Otherwise, that is all I have for you guys. I hope you guys have a good rest of the day. And if you have any questions, be sure to let me know.